Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look in this training module at how we can calibrate and work with our speed density tables for a Mustang application. Now, we have obviously F-150 and Mustang. We'll find that Ford has set up the operating systems completely different because the Mustang uses a mass airflow sensor where the F-150 uses a map pressure sensor. Now, they both have speed density tables that are going to be used. The speed density tables are the primary means for air mass calculation on an F-150. We'll find that the Mustangs use the mass airflow sensor for the primary means of air mass registration, but they also are using the speed density tables with a inferred or calculated map value to work in situations where we have a transient event where the steady state airflow isn't going to be very accurate in measurement through a mass airflow sensor. So if you stab the throttle real quick, for example, or you're having large throttle inputs as you're driving, the mass airflow sensor can register the air mass, but it always is slightly behind in its registration. And we transfer over to an air mass that could potentially be measured from the speed density tables, and it fills in the blanks, so to speak, when we have transient events. Now, the speed density tables are used for other calculations functions in the engine control module for a Mustang and a Gen 3 application, so it's not just a transient situation, but we do want to calibrate and set these up. Now, I definitely want to put this right out here in the beginning of the tutorial. If you have just basic bolt-ons, you haven't changed your intake manifold, you haven't changed your camshafts, you do not need to calibrate the speed density tables. I would not waste the time doing it. Now, if you've changed the intake manifold, that changes the engine's breathing. If you've changed the camshafts, that changes the engine's breathing pretty substantially. If you went force induction, that's a huge major change. And these changes require us to check the speed density calibration and make sure that it's correct. Because if we're introducing force induction or we're going and changing the airflow cylinder filling that we have going on with the engine in terms of cams or an intake manifold, speed density tables will for sure be thrown off. So we're going to learn what we need to know about the speed density system here on a Mustang. We'll talk about F-150 speed density tuning. It's going to be different. Go about that in a different process because it's functioning and working in a different manner. We definitely want to make sure we have things in order here for the Mustang. So this is going to be introducing the speed density concepts, setting up our VCM scanner with some math channels and a table overlay so we can do the tuning process. The next tutorial, I'll actually do the demonstration of working with the speed density and calibrating and tuning on a Mustang. Okay, so let's first open up a stock file. Let's find our speed density tables, and I'm going to talk about how this works within the engine control module programming to make a little bit more sense of this. So let's go up here. We're going to go to File. We're going to go to Open, and let's go in here to our desktop. Let's go to our Gen 3 course folder, sample calibration files. Any stock file will be fine here. I'm just going to go ahead and open up this automatic 2019 GT stock file. If I go here to Engine, and then I go here to General, and then I go to Airflow, and then into the Speed Density tab, these are going to be the speed density tables. Primarily, we're looking at here the offset, the quadratic, and the slope. These three make up the calculation for the speed density air mass registration. When we're dealing with calibrating and tuning them, we obviously know we have our mapped points that we call out in our VCT schedule that drives our different map points that we reference in these tables. So the offset, quadratic, and slope are put together to calculate a air mass entering the engine in a speed density type of environment. Now we call on the speed density when we're in transient events. So if we're driving around in a Mustang and we're part throttle, idle, or wide open throttle, the airflow is relatively steady state. But if we get into a situation where we have a large throttle stab, the mass airflow sensor can register the air mass, but it always is delayed and behind the actual air mass entering the motor. That's where these speed density tables come into play. They help with a lot of the transient fueling, but they're also used in other ways within the engine control module's calculations. So we want to make sure that we're calibrating these correctly. Now, when we're dealing with a Mustang, the Mustang is mass airflow sensor only. We do not have a map pressure sensor. So Ford infers or calculates the map pressure reading that's used for the speed density tables. That definitely gets pretty confusing. So it's a calculated map pressure. When we're dealing with an F-150, we don't have a mass airflow sensor, but we do have a map pressure sensor fitted. So we're going to be tuning and calibrating these same speed density tables in a little bit different format and manner, and we'll talk about that in a specific training module. Now, when we're dealing with and talking about the speed density for a Mustang, we figure out a calculated map value that's fed into the speed density tables in here. That calculated map is coming from something known as throttle mass flow. Now, throttle mass flow can be calculated and used in a couple different manners. The way that Ford's implementing it here on a Mustang application, well, we have a mass airflow sensor that's measuring the air mass coming into the engine. Then we have a throttle body, and we have throttle body data. So everything is entered in here to our throttle body model, the predicted and effective area here. This translates a certain amount of throttle blade opening to a throttle angle, and it's all part of the control. We have to obviously have accurate throttle body data in here. But we'll find that we know the effective area. We know how large that throttle blade is going to be. And we also would know the throttle angle because we're measuring it through the throttle position sensors. That's all fed back into the end control module. And we also would know the barrel pressure. Now, Ford has intended the way that the throttle mass flow system is going to work here. We know that barrel pressure should always be atmospheric before the throttle plate. We know the mass airflow sensor entering into the throttle plate. We know the effective area of the throttle blade, so we know that surface area, and then we would also know how far it's open. Knowing all of that, we can actually then calculate what the manifold pressure is going to be after the throttle blade in the intake manifold. And that's how Ford is going about dealing with map pressure in the speed density orientation here in the speed density calculations and using a calculated map value. So it's all based on what's known as throttle mass flow. Now we can go about this in a lot of different manners. So
thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.